Listen up, people. Manscaped have done it again. This time, it's the Chairman Pro, giving you a clean, close shave. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro has long-lasting battery life. And you use the code FTM20 and you will get 20% off of this product.
Yes, big up, people. Hope you're all doing well. A happy new year to you all. If I do not get to say it or see anybody, then I'm going to say it now. Happy New Year to you. I hope 2025 brings you as much joy as 2024. Or if it hasn't been the best year for you, I hope that things pick up for you in 2025. And I can't believe that we're saying that we are in the year 2025. It's gone absolutely so quick. And it wasn't long ago that we were listening to Boris around COVID times. I cannot believe that that's almost 5 years ago. Can you believe that? Can you believe that it is nearly 5 years since we started to talk about what was happening in the pandemic? Crazy, absolutely crazy. When you think back to it now, you think, wow, what was that period of time all about? It was mad, scary, horrendous. But you know what? We are in a position right now in 2025 where I look back and I think, yeah, I'm officially getting older. I'm officially getting older, and I'm only 37. So God knows what some of you must be thinking, bless you. But I hope you're all happy. I hope you're all healthy, and I hope that you do enjoy whatever you're doing this evening. A huge happy new year to everybody that has been a part of 12th Man, whether you've been on here, whether you've been supporting in the chat, or whether you have been new for the first couple of days as a new subscriber, which is what I'm going to ask next. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. The reason I'm asking for that is not just because it helps grow the channel, but because we are so close to 30K now. We really are. We're over 29,000, which means that there is not even 1,000 of you left to hit that subscribe button to get us to the big 3-0. And that's what we want to be doing. So I have to say thank you to everybody that has hit subscribe, and thank you to everybody that's hit like and subscribe. It is free. They are only 2 buttons, and it does sound very minimal, but it does mean a hell of a lot. So please make sure that you are part of that and that you do hit the like button. Big up to everybody that's here in the chat. Big up to all of you and happy new year to you. I hope you've all enjoyed your Christmas and festive period, and we look towards some drinks tonight. A lot of people will be staying in. A lot of you will be going out. Whatever you do, make sure you have a great evening and see off 2024. I want to say a huge thank you for what has been a great 2024 for me. Starting up the YouTube channel was always a kind of hobby, an interest of mine, but to be able to do it full time in 2024 and call it my job, it really is the dream job. And I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's allowed that to happen and be a part of it. So thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. Make sure you have got your ticket in for tonight's draw. Tonight's draw for New Year's Eve is around 7:30 to 8 o'clock on Reality Raffles. Make sure you are subscribed to Reality Raffles. Make sure you're following them on Instagram. It's 99 pence per ticket. The code is FTM10 to get 10% off of it. And you'll have a chance to go to the Emirates or go to a football stadium of your choice with a match day package of up to £500. And there's other instant win opportunities as well for just 99 pence, people. Please make sure that you're in it to win it. And please make sure you check out manscaped.com. The sponsors for this channel, FTM20 is the code that you need. So please make sure that you do that. And big up to all of the support that Manscaped have shown us. Let's make sure we show them some love as well as Reality Raffles. Chaitanya's coming with the first super chat of the night. Absolute legend. Excuse me. Says Happy New Year, Dan and 12th Man, folks. We may not sign anyone in January, and that means that Jesus needs to deliver at right wing. He's on high wages, so it's time to be accountable. We're going to talk about the January transfer window. We're going to talk about links and rumours. We're going to talk a little bit about Mikel Arteta's press conference. We're going to go and do a little bit of a preview for the Brentford game tomorrow evening. We're the only team playing, or teams playing tomorrow. These festive periods are all over the place. I can't keep up with it at the moment. It's absolute mad. So let's get into it. We're going to go into the press conference, first of all, because Mikel Arteta has been speaking to the press about the game tomorrow night. And here is what he said. We're going to share it on screen as we always do. And we're going to go through it and see what you guys feel about some of the questions that was posed to him and some of the answers that he has, of course, provided. I always believe Mikel Arteta has probably one of the most interesting press conferences. Some of the stuff that he talks about never ceases to amaze me. But I've got to say, I've done this on purpose. I've not read this in advance, which I should do really, but I've done it on purpose because I wanted this to be a bit of a surprise together. Let's see what he says. If there's anything in this that does shock or surprise me, it wouldn't be a huge shock because this is sometimes what Mikel Arteta does. So for the final time in 2024, Arteta held a press conference before we head to Brentford on New Year's Day. The boss was asked about topics such as squad rotation, Leandro Trossard's form, and what Thomas Frank's team will pose. And here is everything that Mikel had to say. So first of all, he was asked on how the team can grow to continue to be competitive. And he said, we're going to have to improve it. Or we're going to have to prove it, should I say. What we've proven already this season is that playing the amount of games that we've played with 10 men, all the injuries that we've had in this squad, and for sure we weren't in that position that we are in today in all the competitions. So the team has made another step. The team's evolving and is adapting to new circumstances. And now we have another one, which is more games with less players. So let's face it. So straight away, I don't like this paragraph at all. And I'll tell you why I don't like it. I'm going to break this down because this is basically allowing the section of the fan base that have provided excuses as to why Arsenal are not top of the league. And this is giving them more ammunition. This is Mikel Arteta, in my opinion, pointing fingers or issues or concerns or excuses as to the reasons why we are not top of the league and ahead of Liverpool at the moment. So let's break it down. He starts off by saying, we're going to have to prove we're competitive. That's cool. We've proven already that we can be. I think that's fair. Playing the amount of games that we've played with 10 men. Now, straight away, there's excuses there. I know that he does not agree that Rice and Trossard and Saliba should have all been sent off. But let's just be real. You can make a case or statement that all three of them could have been. And it seems very fitting to look back at 2024, seeing as it's the last day of it. We've had an unbelievable 2024 as a football club. If you look at what we have done in the form, it has been unbelievable. What hasn't been unbelievable is that we haven't lifted anything in 2024. And I would say that both things are quite unbelievable because with the form that we showed in 2024, you would think it was unbelievable that Arsenal wouldn't lift the trophy, but we still didn't. So if I said to you the form of Arsenal is some of the best it's ever been in its history in 2024, you would think, wow, this is competing with the Invincibles and double winning sides. Surely Arsenal will lift in silverware. The answer is no, because we haven't been able to get across the line. But then I look back at the start of this season, for the first few months up until 2024, which is now changing to the new year, there has been 3 red cards, but Saliba was last man and Trossard and Declan Rice kicked the ball away in front of the referee. So is that really an excuse that we've played the amount of games that we've had to with 10 men? Is that anybody's fault other than Arsenal's? That's the big debate. Then he goes on to talk about all of the injuries that we've had within this squad. Well, let's just be real. There was a transfer window that we could have allowed in the summer to be better than a 4 out of 10. Sterling, Marino, Calafiori and Neto is not a very good window. So if we actually did bring in the players that we should have done, which was a striker, better cover for Saka, cover for Odegaard, cover at defence, then we wouldn't have had to have problems with playing right backs and left backs all over the shop, dropping midfielders into right back, covering Odegaard with players like Trossard, who really should have been Nwaneri, putting trust in Ethan Nwaneri and not playing him, putting trust in Brian Sterling and not playing him. All of these things come back to the transfer window and how poor it was. So he starts talking about injuries, and I think, well, actually, Saka out now and Odegaard out now. If Danny Olmo, who we'll come on to in a bit, was actually at the club already, we could have played him. If we would have actually gone and got Kudus, we could have played him. If we would have actually gone and got Victor Gyökeres, we could have played him and maybe put one of the other guys wide. So I'm just not hearing that. I'm just not hearing it at all. So that's how I would answer that one. He goes on to talk about the competitions that we're still in. And let's be real, people. As much as there is a little doom and gloom and a little bit of negativity around the place at the moment, we are still in every single competition. Likelihood is we won't win the league because Liverpool looking very good. Likelihood is we won't win the Champions League, but that's not on how we're playing. That's just because the likelihood is it's very, very difficult for us. Without Bukayo Saka, I don't think we'll win those 2 competitions. But we've got a chance of winning a domestic cup without Saka. We've got a chance of winning a domestic cup because of the fact that we're in the semi-finals of one of them and we're playing a Man United side, which looks absolutely horrendous at the moment, in the other. So let's have a little bit of faith in the domestic cups, maybe in the Champions League, because the best team in Europe doesn't always win the Champions League. Remember that. Yeah. So he talks about the team making another step evolving and adapting to circumstances, that we have another chance to do that game. And this is what I don't really get at the end here. We have another one, which is more games with less players. So let's face it, more games with less players. Look, there is less players, definitely. But we have got the smallest squad by design in the league. And it is young. 22 players. And it's young. So stop moaning, Mikel, because this was by design. You didn't want any more players. You only wanted 22. You got rid of Reece, you got rid of Eddie, you got rid of Smith Rowe, you got rid of Vieira, and you brought Sterling in. So don't complain that you've got a squad that's too small and too thin. I don't have any sympathy. Then he goes on to talk about Raheem Sterling. He says that Raheem Sterling was gutted. He had a good game against Palace, could have scored 2 goals, made an assist, and in the end got injured after one of the training sessions. That was his opportunity. Naturally, he would have played in that position, but knowing Raheem, I think he'll be back quite soon. So that means that he's out still injured, but he's going to come back within a couple of weeks, I imagine, in the next couple of games. Raheem Sterling actually did play well against Palace. I'm going to say that. I actually thought he played well in the Carabao Cup game. Yeah, he got the assist. I think he should have scored. I don't quite know how he's hit the bar from there, but I actually thought he showed glimpses of what Raheem Sterling's all about. The problem I've got with Raheem Sterling is that we haven't seen enough of him. So Mikel has to hold it L there, because he's brought this guy in and he hasn't really given him any opportunities to go and show what he can do. It's fine starting him against Bolton, Palace and Preston in the Carabao Cup, but I don't really think that's going to give you any information or evidence to show that he's ready for a Premier League game. When he has started or come on, he hasn't quite looked the right sort of Raheem Sterling that I wanted to see. And I think it's because at 29, he's been playing since 17 and really hasn't shown the best of his form since 2019 before COVID. So when you have to go back as far before COVID for him to have actually had a last pretty good season, that's 4 or 5 seasons ago now. That's not good enough. Raheem Sterling, you're going to be a part of this squad, but if I'm honest with you, I can't see you staying past that. I don't think you're going to go into next season. That's all I will say. I just don't. Then he goes on to talk about closing the gap to Liverpool. He said that he doesn't expect... he said that doesn't depend on us. We have to continue to be like a hammer. Be there every day, every day, every day. If someone wins all the matches, congratulate them and let's go to the next season. But if they don't, which in history hasn't happened, we'll be there. That is a very, very strange way of saying that we need to concentrate on ourselves, win every game, take every game by game, and see where we're at come the end of the season. That's what I think he's trying to say, that he doesn't believe that Liverpool are going to drop, but if they do, we'll be there. I don't really understand. We have to continue to be like a hammer. I guess he's saying we have to win and win and win and win and win and be there if they slip up. Very strange way of saying it, but fair play. I get what he means, or I think I get what he's trying to say. The squad's New Year resolution apparently is to keep everybody fit, and that's it. Look, again, comes down to squad depth, doesn't it? It's a thin squad. So I don't really understand why we're complaining about this. This is like getting into a car and racing against a Ferrari and saying it's actually slower than the Ferrari. Did you not know that when you got in your Vauxhall Astra? Like, we kind of knew that we had a thin squad. So why are we now shocked that we've got a thin squad and now a few people are injured? Come on, Mikel. Like, you knew this. Or is it actually, is he being clever here? And is he suggesting to the ownership that we have a thin squad and that we need to do something in January? That's what it could be. It could be that, people. It could be that. He comes on to talk about Trossard, and I'm not sure why. I guess he is the player at the moment that potentially they're looking to start on the left if Martinelli's going to continue on the right. I think he looks to be wanting to play Jesus and Havertz together with Trossard and Martinelli. Playing all 4 of them, I think, is silly, but that's what he seems to be going with in the last couple of games. So he talks on Trossard and he says that they all want to play and they always want to play. Leo, I think in the last 12 months, a lot more consistency. He's deserved that. He's had a lot of competition in his position, so that's it to raise the level. He plays at that level. He'll play like anybody else, but he has the capacity to do something special in the final third. He said with us, he's played as a left winger, a left attacking midfielder, and as a 9. He's a player that I value a lot and that we value a lot because he's very versatile, very competitive, and he's always a massive goal threat for the team. So I'm really happy for him. He also went on to talk about Trossard's positive attitude. He said, naturally, he's a little bit of a moaner, but I like that because he's very competitive. You have training sessions, always busy with the referee's decision because he wants to win, and that's what I love. He always wants to be the best, and when he's not there, he's not happy, but that really pushes him. That's why he comes on the pitch. He can make an impact. He's got that drive and hunger, and he says, I'm going to show you, but I love that about him. There's quite a lot about Trossard there. And I think the reason that he's being spoken about is because there's been some rumours and suggestions that Trossard might not be the future of Arsenal and that in January there'll be some interest. At the moment, there's potentially the rumour of the contract extension. I think rumour is that he's up after this season. So Trossard will be looked at. I like him. I do. I always like him. Apparently there's some transfer news. Egal, talk to me, man. What's happening? Talk to me. Have you seen the transfer news? No, I have not. No, I have not. Are you messing with me, Egal? Talk to me or send me a link, bro. Talk to me or send me a link. Or I'll send you the link. You can jump on with me if you want. Let me send you the link. And then you can jump on and tell me what you found out. Because I have no idea what you're saying. Let me just get Egal on. If he's free. Might not be free. ACH. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry, I've just got to send him the link. AH7. There we go. See what Egal's found out. I'm going to have a quick search. Have a quick search on Romano, people, and see where we're at, because it looks... Egal, I've sent you the link, man. Jump on if you know something that we don't, because I'm not sure what the transfer news is. Maybe he's seen something I haven't. Let me just search Romano. I always try and search Romano as best I can anyway. Nothing I can see. Nothing I can see. Nothing I can see. Interesting. Interesting. Here we go. Yes, bro. What are you saying?
What's good, man? Just literally doing my New Year's video right now. What have you been up to?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just going through his press conference. And they're talking about Trossard. And they're also talking about the situation
Trossard,
in January. What you heard, man?
Trossard had his head turned in the summer, so he doesn't want to lose him in this situation where our attack is kind of weaker.
What would you do with Trossard?
You keep him, and you strengthen the team in January, and come the summer, if he's shifted out of the team and his level of importance is not there, you move him on.
Because I like him. I think he's a sub though, bro, and I don't think he wants to be a sub.
I think he wants to go to Saudi, where he'd be an integral part of whatever team he joins. Yeah. And he's still of an age where he can make good money on one more move. So that's probably what he wants to do. But right now, let's be honest, it's not about what he wants, it's what's best for the club. And I don't think it's best for the club to let Trossard go this window. That would be ridiculous.
I agree. I don't think we can afford to let any of our attackers go. We need attackers. We can't be leaving them. Unless, of course, you need to get rid of one to bring another in. I can understand that. But right now, it's going to be tricky, man. Let me just come to the end of this press conference thing. I'll read this through with you guys. Then we can touch on some news that I'm going to go through on Twitter that's hitting at the moment. Preparing for Brentford in a short space of time. Full focus. Our minds have to be on what we have to do and recover, because not only now, but in the next 3 or 4 weeks, there are so many games in different competitions, and we need to be right there. It's very tough. He talks about Brentford's challenge. They're a really, really good team. When you see their record at home until last week, it's remarkable. They've evolved and adapted as well. The qualities in their team are because of the players they have right now. So I'm very impressed. And lastly, he says, I don't know on whether the team will need rotating. We'll watch the Ipswich game back, and I'll watch the training session that we always do and have a feeling of what is the best team to start and what's the best team to finish the game with in relation to what the position is as well, individual moments of each player. I want to talk to you quickly on the Brentford thing. We might as well do that now. What are you saying for this game, bro? Because I actually think it's going to be a real tough test tomorrow night. I think they're a good side. I think they're a team that have, like Mikel Arteta said, they've been really good at home. I think their attack is really good. I like Brian and Buemo. I like Vissa. And I think even without Ivan Toney, they're definitely a team that can cause some problems. I think they're well drilled. I think they're well set up by Thomas Frank, a manager I rate very highly. I've gone for a 1-0 to the Arsenal, Egal. I feel like it's going to be one of those. I feel like it's going to be a tough one. I feel like we will get that clean sheet, but we'll find it hard. But I feel like we'll just have a little bit too much for him and nick it on the maybe on the counter or something. But I'm not going to go for a high scoring game in this one, bro. What are you saying? Oh, you're on mute, bro.
I'm relatively similar to you. I'm also going with a 2-0 win, but still, they're a tough team, and it's not going to be an easy win, regardless how we play offensively or defensively. This Brentford team, I think they're unbeaten at home up until like the last couple games. Their first loss of the season at home happened like a couple weeks ago. So they're still very tough. They're a very tough team to beat at their ground, and Buemo and Wesa haven't really been firing lately, so you know what that means. They're going to probably score against us as things go with Arsenal. But I'm not too worried about the Brentford game. It's just if we do drop points against Brentford, it will kind of prove everything right to everybody who's been saying, you know what, we didn't do enough in the window, and now that we have all these injuries, now that we have all the problems that we currently have, you could just say, oh, dropping points to Brentford will just help solidify Liverpool's league title campaign, because that's what it's looking like. It's peak for us if we drop points to them. I expect us to win, but I'm never confident. It's sad.
It is, man. Let me ask you on team news, what team you'd go with? What would your 1 to 11 be tomorrow night?
I'm keeping it simple. I'm just gonna go the same back four with Miles Lewis-Skelly, unless Calafiori is 100% ready to go. And I'm not changing Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's just been so good. The midfield, I'm gonna go with Partey. I'm gonna go with Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. And then the front three, I'm gonna go with Jesus on one of the wings, Martinelli on the other wing, and Havertz up top. Forget about this Havertz in the midfield stuff. Let's just put Jesus on one of the wings and have him, Havertz, and Martinelli interchange.
I'm with you. Exactly the same team. Calafiori would start if he's fit, but I would probably even argue that Miles Lewis-Skelly deserves to keep his place because I've been really impressed. Havertz definitely is the 9 for me. There's no way I'm dropping him into midfield. It's just ridiculous. Obviously, on the right-hand side, Jesus needs to start, I think, and then you play on the left Martinelli. That then allows you to bring on Trossard. It allows you to bring on Ethan Nwaneri. It does allow you, if you need to bring on Marino or Jorginho into midfield. But other than that, we haven't really got any of the other attackers at the moment. So for me, I think you have to look at that as let's not squeeze them all in. Havertz dropping into the midfield for me is just an absolute nightmare. And I know that he scored and that actually wasn't so bad against Ipswich, but I want him as the 9. I don't want him getting in the way. I don't want him in anything other than the focal point to cause havoc and chaos up top. And I do think that's...
I'm going to have to come back. Wifey's calling me. I'll be back.
Yeah, of course, man. No worries, bro. You do what you got to do, man. You do what you got to do. So that's where I'm at. Big up to Egal, man. Look, I think that press conference has proven to me that there's a big shout out that the Cronkies need to deliver. Yeah, that's what it is. For me, the Cronkies need to deliver. And I'm praying with all my might that there's money. I'm praying with everything that I have that we are going to do something in this January transfer window. But I don't have the faith that we will. Why should I? People say to me, have belief, get behind it, have an understanding that we are going to have to do. Yeah, look, I've done all this before. I did this when we were going for a league title in 22-23. We were linked with Caicedo and Mudryk. And at the time, I thought both of them would be really good impact signings. Not that I'd seen Mudryk enough, and luckily, of course, we didn't get him. But Caicedo would have been phenomenal. Bringing in Caicedo and Declan Rice the following summer, our midfield would be absolutely perfect right now. We'd have a midfield of Rice, Caicedo, and Odegaard people with Partey and Jorginho as cover. But instead, we went for Jorginho. Actually, we wouldn't then, would we, if we had Jorginho? But you get my point. We'd have Partey, Rice, Caicedo, and Odegaard. But instead, we went for Trossard, who I thought was a good signing. Kivior, who's not really, for me, been anything but a squad player. And then, of course, we went for Jorginho. The following January windows have done nothing at all. In fact, in one of the January transfers before the one I just spoke about, we sold Aubameyang and gave him away for nothing. So there's no faith I have in the January transfer windows. Now, according to rumours and reports, PSR is not an issue with Arsenal. We've seen that today, right? So let's bring that up now, because there's a lot of people talking about what it's like at the moment and what's happening with Arsenal Football Club and the transfer market. There's a lot of people talking about this. So let's bring it up. I always use AFC stuff. Big fan of it. And let's go through it. Fabio Vieira is the first report that we come to. And there's a lot of people suggesting that Fabio Vieira might come back to Arsenal. Fabio Vieira might look at staying at Porto for first team football and then coming back to Arsenal to try and revive his career. I think Fabio Vieira's future at Arsenal's done. There were some loose rumours and suggestions that Fabio Vieira was going to return. And I tongue-in-cheek put it out there yesterday or the day before that it probably would happen because that's just very Arsenal. I truly don't believe that is going to happen, though. I just don't. According to Sammy Mockbell, I don't know how many people believe him to be reliable. Most people say that he is. Some say that he's not. Fabio Vieira's long-term future at Arsenal is definitely still in doubt. The club are ready to listen to offers for the player, but with Vieira on loan at Porto, that situation is unlikely to escalate in January. Basically, what that means is he's staying at Porto, and maybe in the summer there's potential for us to sell Fabio Vieira. That's all there is on this one. Big up, Egal. This Fabio Vieira stuff, Sammy Mockbell says it's probably not happening in terms of a return to Arsenal. I think he's going to just get sold in the summer and stay at Porto, bro. Do you?
Which one?
Fabio Vieira.
He's definitely staying at Porto. The manager came out and said that he's going to back. He has plans for him over the next coming weeks. So he wouldn't have said that if he was coming back to Arsenal. As for if we have plans for him, this whole loan is to save his value, give him game time, gain confidence, and see where we are with him in a year's time. Hopefully the loan ends successful, and either they buy him back or somebody's interested in purchasing him. Because I had high hopes for Fabio Vieira going into this season, but the fact that the club kind of put him to the side makes me think they gave up on him.
I think we have given up on him because there was rumours about him training and not really impressing and that his attitude was a little bit off and Arteta wasn't a fan of it. I think he's got a really good touch. I like his technique and I think his weight of pass is there. But other than that, I don't think he's suited to this league, Egal. I just don't like him in the Premier League. I think he gets pushed off the ball. He's quite lightweight. He's quite weak. And there's a difference between both of those things, by the way, because Messi was lightweight, but he weren't weak. You know what I'm saying? I know we're not comparing him to Lionel Messi. He's the best ever, but you get my point. There's players out there that have been quite lightweight but still strong. Saka, he's quite lightweight, but he is definitely
Saka's strong. Saka, Salah.
But that's what I'm saying. The difference, though, do you get the difference, though? Because he's lightweight, but he's strong. Saka, Fabio Vieira's lightweight and weak. That's my point.
Saka's like 6 foot tall, bro.
Yeah, but he's quite light. He is quite lightweight, Saka. You could, you know, years ago, you could fling him off the ball. Now he's really bulked up for me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think we're mistaking lightweight with like somebody who doesn't look like they're very
like Santi Cazorla, like
yeah. Santi Cazorla was not big, but you couldn't bounce him off the ball as much as you wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, let's go to the next story. Lewis Skelly, apparently his emergence is interesting many at the FA. Promotion into the England under-21 setup appears the next logical step for the player. He's certainly viewed as a future for international by England coaches. Do you think he's got a future at left-back for Arsenal?
The thing is, he depends what he wants. Is he going to be one of those guys who's play me anywhere, I'm going to play my best? Or is he going to be one of those guys like Ainsley Maitland-Niles and others who are like, I want to play in my preferred position and I'm going to eventually get myself there or else I'm going to get a move. It depends on what mentality he has. And from what I'm seeing right now, he has the hunger and the desire to just play wherever and take it by the scruff of the neck. He has the potential to be a really good left back. And also, if he keeps it up, he could potentially be shifted back into the midfield if he's good enough.
Yeah, because a lot of people I've spoken to around me said they actually want to see Miles Lewis-Skelly in the left 8 role because they think he could do a good job. And I think that's a really good shout. I think him and Ethan, to be fair, could both do a role there. Yeah.
But we've never seen Zinchenko in the left wing, in the left midfield. So what makes you think he's all of a sudden going to play Miles Lewis-Skelly there now?
No, I don't. That's why I don't think he will. The only thing I would say to come back on that is I think Miles Lewis-Skelly started in midfield, whereas I think Zinchenko was a little bit all over the place with his position. Like in
Zinchenko
terms of
started as a winger, bro.
there we go, a winger, really, bloody hell. Well, you can tell because he can't defend. That's for sure. Let's go to the next story, which is about Florian Wirtz. So yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are on this one, bro, but obviously we're linked with him. Sammy Mockbell is saying, like all top European clubs, Arsenal will be in the market for Florian Wirtz once he decides to leave Bayer Leverkusen. But the player will have his pick of clubs. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and Manchester City are all interested. I don't know why I think this, but if he leaves, I think he's going to go to Bayern Munich, bro. Because there's a lot of reports saying that he wants to stay in Germany. Man City are interested. Arsenal, I know, are interested. But I kind of think him and Musiala are going to form this madness in Bayern Munich. But I don't know what your thoughts.
When it comes to Mbappe, Musiala, Florian Wirtz, all these guys, I don't ever believe Arsenal's going to be. They're going to throw their name in the hat, but I never believe we're going to actually go and get that player. That's just is that crazy to say? The last player we got that was considered one of the best in their position was what do you call it, Mesut Ozil, and even then he was coming from Real Madrid at a time where his stock somewhat is high, but he's not like a player on the rise. He's already been there at the top, and somewhat like he has years remaining, but he's not like he's world class at that time. This is a player who's currently world class and potentially could be for the next 10 years one of the best players in his position. I just don't think Arsenal is going to be willing to break the bank as much as we would need to get him away from Leverkusen. Plus, arguably, we have other priorities where we need to strengthen first. And would we invest all that money in Florian Wirtz? I don't think so.
I have to say I agree with you. Unpopular opinion, I think I prefer Wirtz to Musiala. Everybody says I'm crazy, but I actually really like Florian Wirtz, man. I think he's an absolute baller. As much as I agree Musiala's a top talent, I think what I appreciate more is that Florian Wirtz was doing it in a Bayer Leverkusen side, surrounded by players that, let's be real, weren't superstars. And when he's surrounded by Elise and Leroy Sané and Kingsley Coman and Harry Kane and all this, he's actually got it a little bit like Phil Foden, I suppose. Not that I'm sort of doubting Phil Foden's quality because he's clearly there. He's kind of been surrounded by that quality. With Cole Palmer, I was like, wow, you've got some bozos in this team at the moment at Chelsea last season that just couldn't do anything, and you're still shining. So I just prefer Wirtz. I don't know about you, but
this is one of those January transfer window distraction topics. I don't think this is a topic that is going to ever actually have serious, like Arsenal are seriously one of the last two names on the list for this player. It's just similar to Isaac. We're one of the names on the list, but we really want Isaac. Florian Wirtz, we're one of the names on the list, but I don't think we really want him. Same as how we're one of the names on the list that want the guy at Bayern Munich, the left back. What's his name? Canadian brother.
Alphonso Davies.
Alphonso Davies. We throw our name around to all these players because let's be honest, we have to at least be looking at them. We can't just let them all get by us. But I don't think it's one of those ones where we actually get it done. The player who I think we're more likely to sign out of Germany right now, Marmoush, probably.
I agree. I think that's a realistic signing. I think that's a realistic one.
I don't see us getting Musiala either. I've seen people talking about Musiala to Arsenal. Remember in the summer?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we get either of them either, if I'm honest with you. And my problem I've got, Egal, and I've said this a few times to yourself, Canton, some of the other guys, everybody I want, like as in what Dan Potts wants, not what Arsenal wants, they're all going to cost ridiculous money, bro. Like, I would absolutely love Isak, but we've already been told that he's pretty much been priced out of a move because he's like 150 million craziness. Do you know what I'm saying?
So this is the thing. Arsenal Football Club, we do this to ourselves. Isak was there for 50 million. What do you call it? Kudus was there for 35. If I'm not mistaken, you also had Bruno Guimaraes there for around 50 to 60. That right there is the 150 Newcastle's asking for Isak in 3 players that we really wanted.
Yeah.
As a football club, if we're gonna be looking to spend big, let's go and do this the right way. Forget about spending 150 on Isak. I love Isak. I would take him in a heartbeat, and I think it's amazing. Go drop money on Marmoush, get Nico Williams, bring both of them in. Be serious. Because that's 100 million right there. That's 100 million right there for 2 players. Improves our squad. That then you can get rid of Trossard. You don't have to baby him anymore. Then you can bench Martinelli if he has bad performances. Bukayo Saka doesn't have to be rushed back. Instead of dropping 100 million on 150 million on Isak, we can go get Marmoush and Kudus for that same money. Does that not sound like an amazing window?
It does. It does. Look,
I wanted to come on. Still breaking the bank, but it's not as bad as dropping it all on one player. People make fun of Arsenal.
We're definitely not going to get Isak in January. There's rumours we might not even get him in the summer, depending on what Newcastle do and where they finish. But
I don't think we're ever going to get Isak with the money that they're asking. I think we're priced out of a move. Call me crazy, but Isak is at this point. We're gonna have to do a Liverpool thing and just start looking at players that are good prices, on the rise, 25 and up, 25 and around there, and that are putting up decent numbers that can come into this team and raise our levels. Enough about Gyökeres, Ivan Toney, all these other guys that we've heard over the last couple of years. We're not signing those kind of strikers right now. In this January, we're probably going to.
Craig says Isak won't leave Newcastle to challenge. He wants to win. Well, he won't start Newcastle then, Craig. He's going to go if he wants to win because Newcastle has been for 60, 70 years. So big up to you, man. I'm a big fan, but I know that you don't want us to sign him. But I know it's a dig at Arsenal.
But the same people are saying he should go to Chelsea, he should go to Man United, he should go to Barcelona, he should go to Real Madrid.
He's not going to win there. The only place he's going to win is Man City, not even Man City now. Liverpool probably and Real Madrid. They're the only places he'll go if he wants to guarantee to win.
And Real Madrid don't spend money anymore on players. They just get them on free transfers. They're waiting 2 years. They're waiting 2 years for Saliba. We got 2 more years, guys. 2 more years.
Yeah, I totally agree. Nico Williams, you mentioned him. He's a long-term target. Is reported to have a near 50 million release clause. It is actually 49 million pounds, which is well within Arsenal's budget. However, there's some doubt over whether he's willing to leave Athletic Bilbao mid-season. This is a summer deal if it happens at all, isn't it, Egal?
Not if we're serious. You go to La Liga and you just drop the 50 and you say, Nico, we want you, come here. And he's like, okay. Because Barcelona don't want him no more. His decision to stay one more season has basically almost gotten rid of his potential to go link up with Lamel at Barca, because Rafinha has now stamped his authority as one of the best players in that team, and he's not going to Barcelona anymore, in my opinion, to play second fiddle to Rafinha. He's not gonna go there and be Spain's number one of Spain's number one wingers and play as a B player for Barcelona. That's how you get yourself on the bench for Spain. So if he comes to Arsenal, as much as I love Martinelli, Trossard, he doesn't even get that much GA over there, but his performances are so much better than some of our wingers. His ability to create.
Is it fair to say that he's not had a great season so far?
He is more of, I would compare him to, like, you know how Pedro Neto was for Wolves?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what he is. He's a guy who will get you a goal or assist on a random occasion, but majority of the time, he's the one driving the team forward.
He scored 1 goal in 17, 3 assists. It's not great.
He's not a striker. He's a winger. He's a winger.
Martinelli's got 4 goals, I think, isn't he?
Nico Williams is not going to get us. He's not going to come into this team and get us a bunch of goals. What he's going to do is he's going to drive the team forward. He's going to link the attack to the midfield, and he's going to be another attacking player that can improve the overall quality of our attack. He's not going to come into this team and get you 20 plus goals, 20 plus assists. He's not that player.
Would Lookman be better than him?
If you're just looking for direct output, yeah.
Okay.
If you're looking for a goal scorer, Nico Williams not your guy. If you're looking for another piece to your attack that can further improve your overall quality of your attack, Nico Williams can improve the quality of the attack. But to me, he's not an out and out goal scoring option. He's not an out and out just give him the ball and create. He's another piece to the puzzle. He's never been one of the main men.
Okay, interesting. Look, this is something that you highlighted to me, so I wanted to touch on it whilst you're on the show with me. This has again come from Sammy Mockwell. He's well into it today, isn't he? He says he was asked on whether Arsenal can spend money in January. Yes, money won't be an issue. While complying with PSR regulations remains a factor, Arsenal are well within those constraints, and this means the restrictions they set on spending will be their own. So we can splash the cash, Egal. Talk to me.
I told you we can spend money. The money is not the issue. The issue is the level of ambition. That's the issue. How much ambition do the people at the club actually have to go and do what's needed to be done? For example, Edu's gone, so we no longer have the excuse of Edu being the problem. Who the decision makers at the club, are they going to make the right moves? Are they going to go out there and bring us 2 attacking players? Are they going to go out there and look at potentially getting something done? Because I'm happy to hear that Marcus Rashford's not going to happen. I'm happy to hear that they're seriously looking for an improvement in the January window. But if it's Marcus Thuram, if it's Nico Williams, I don't know if that's needle movers. Can we go and find a needle mover in January? Potentially. The best thing we can do is go and get 2 players.
I think that's what we need to do now, and go and get 2. I was asked on the terrace about Dani Olmo. I was asked about Marmoush. I was asked about Gyökeres, Osimhen, another player people talk about, and they did mention Rashford, which we'll come on to in a minute.
Marmoush is the best one.
Marmoush is on fire, bro.
2 seasons running, 25 years old. Mo Salah's leaving soon. He could be the next Egyptian king in the Premier League.
Well, I'm a fan of what he's doing so far at Frankfurt. His numbers are insane. I think he's got 20 goals and assists in 15 games. Crazy. So
imagine this, bro. People are talking about Cunha, all these other guys. Forget about Cunha for a second. If we go and get Mohamed Kudus and we go and get this guy Marmoush, those 2 together, how much would that be? 150?
Yeah.
That right there solves our issues on the right, solves our issues on the left, and we just rotate Havertz and Jesus in the middle. And when Saka gets back, we now have cover for him, and he can ease himself back in. I think the strikers thing that we've been talking about, Gyökeres, Victor Osimhen, Isaac, forget about it. Just forget about it. It does, because if
does Marmoush play more as a left winger or a striker?
He can play as a striker, but he predominantly I would play him as a left winger, because he can score from that side of the field, and he's also very impactful from central areas when driving from the left also. First half of the season, he was playing as a striker. Second half of the season so far, mostly he's been playing on the left. And he's been putting in man of the match performances in both the striker and in the left wing position.
Okay, interesting. Let's look at the next bit, which is talking about what Sammy Mokbel believes we need. He says, in addition to Saka's replacement, Arsenal want a new centre-forward and are considering a central midfielder, but those deals are viewed as ones to execute in the summer window, with the club's focus in January honed in on a wide forward. Do you think that's going to be the case? We're going to get a wide forward in January and then look for a striker and a midfielder in the summer?
Hey, we could get another left back. These guys are addicted to left backs, bro. You know how it is. But when it comes to forwards, we're gonna sign at least 1 forward minimum, and the quality level of that forward has to be up there. The question I have is, how many forwards are we gonna sign? One thing I do know is we're not gonna sign a striker, bro. I know I've seen you on many shows, Dan. You said we need to sign a striker. Can you admit, if we go and sign a striker today, does it overall improve the quality of our attack? If we still have major holes on the left,
depends who it is.
If we still have holes on the left and the right, with Saka injured and the left-hand side not looking so good, wouldn't it make more sense to keep Havertz or Jesus as striker and go and improve around them?
I would rather at the moment that we get both. If we can only get one position, I still think it's the 9 that we need. Because Jesus can play wide, Sterling can play wide, Trossard can play wide, Martinelli can play wide. We've only really got Havertz that can play up top, bro. And Jesus ain't really a 9, is he? Let's just be real. And he's going to be asked to play on the right now. So I think if we was to get us, I think we need both, and I think you agree we need both. But if we had to get one now, I think you're right. I think we'll go and get a wide forward first. And I think we do want either Isak in the summer, or the one I think we will bloody get, Sesko. That's who I think we will get in the summer. Not that I think he's trash.
I don't want Sesko either.
I don't think he's any better than Havertz, bro. Like Dom was disagreeing with me earlier, saying, "Oh, he's much better." Why? Like how? Like I've not seen enough from this kid to believe that he's going to come to the Premier League and get 15, 20 goals at
This is why
21.
Sesko for me is not that big of an upgrade on Havertz right now,
I agree.
and his potential maybe is better. He's better, but he's a better ball striker and probably a finisher. But right now, I've not seen enough to say he's going to come into this team and raise our levels. What I want is level raisers, and I think level raisers is people who allow us to play many different styles and that can fill in many different holes to help us win games. Kudus, all these guys that we can sign on the wing can play in so many different areas of the pitch that it will give us more versatility, especially with Bukayo Saka injured. I am trying to find a solution with Saka's injury. I'm not trying to find a solution with Saka there. So we need to consider the wing position as more of a priority at this moment in time than strikers. I love the fact that we need to improve all areas of our attack. But the only way we're going to do that is if we have the wide players that can continue to score goals and create. Because centrally, you could have a striker at Arsenal Football Club. We had Aubameyang, but if you don't have the wide players around them that can do the job, you're going to have the same situation. It's just another area of the pitch which is now going to be solved, but there's still going to be neglected areas in other areas. I think Kai Havertz is good enough of a striker right now to help us win some major honors if we have the right wingers around him that can also chip in for 10, 30 goals a season.
Okay, well, look, apparently Sammy Mogbell is saying that Arteta is going to prioritise a new attacker in the January transfer window. Saka's surgery is because has led to that, and the Mail Sport understands the club are actively looking to sign a forward this month. Look, that's good news for me because obviously we need one. I don't know if we're going to get just one. Hopefully we don't just get one. Hopefully we get more than one. But it does look like...
Do you look back at the Calafiori signing and say to yourself, what were we thinking?
Kind of, but I will go back to you and say that our left backs are so injury prone that I can understand why he's not been set on a left back yet. And that is his fault, by the way, because he's had enough opportunities. We've had 9 in his 6-year tenure. So we need one of them to be good. I actually don't mind Calafiori. I'm not too sure that he is actually a left back, if I'm honest with you. But £40 million on a left back, £30 million on an El Neni replacement, which, let's be real, this Marino is. He ain't much better than that, is he? Like, I'm not from what I can see anyway.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
What? Marino?
To basically resort him to a bench father already?
No, but do you think he's good enough to start in this Arsenal side, this Marino? Do you see him as wow, he's got to take us forward, drive us forward? He's just a squad player, bro.
He's only been here for 6 months. We're already writing him off.
He's 28, bro. He's 28, Egal. He ain't going to get much better than this. He doesn't look much different.
He was killing it for Real Sociedad. It's going to take him a little bit of
for Real Sociedad. He was holding things together in their midfield, man. He wasn't even one of their best players.
Fair enough. He's not one of our best players. We've signed him as a squad player. Let's not forget that. He's not.
Well, that's why. So you agree with me? I think he's a squad player. I don't think he starts in this team personally. So I think Marino and Calafiori and Sterling.
I'm not calling him El Neni though.
I didn't actually mind El Neni to keep things together for some games. That's all he was, a squad player. I quite liked El Neni because at least he was honest. He was like, look, I ain't going to be a Fabregas for you, but I'll come in and do the job when I need to. And that's exactly what he did. 7 or 8 out of 10s. Sometimes there were 8s. Sometimes there were 7s or 6s. That was all he ever was. And let's be real. I don't look at El Neni. I'll tell you this. I don't look at El Neni and I don't look at Marino and go, oh, thank God we ain't got El Neni. Look how good this Marino is in comparison to him. I ain't done that yet. Maybe you have. I haven't done that yet.
Hey, I think because the rest of the team is somewhat performing bad, we're harshly judging some of the new signings.
Okay, maybe that's fair. And I'm not going to sit there and say that we need to get rid of these guys because they need more time. And I'm going to review it after a season with him. But listen, let's continue because there's another couple of bits of news that I want to get your opinions on, which I know that you'll probably have your opinions on. One of them is, of course, this guy, which I do not want anywhere near my football club. And it's suggesting that that's not going to happen. Arsenal's links to Marcus Rashford. He's been told there's no chance of that happening. Terry believes, so he said to me earlier, that this would be a brilliant signing for Arsenal. And I obviously believed he was joking and he was trolling, but he actually thinks he would kill it at Arsenal. I can't stand him.
He loves Rashford. Bro, Rashford needs to leave the country. Honestly.
I agree. I
He
agree.
needs to leave the country. He needs to go somewhere. I think he'd be good at like a Serie A, go to Inter, play on the counter. He'll kill it. But in England, where he's constantly getting harassed, he's constantly getting attacked by his own fans. He's having partner issues because of the commitment level in football. You're not able to like spend too much time with your family and stuff. I would say he needs to just leave. And if we were to ever go for Marcus Rashford, I would not be satisfied, and I would look at it as a lesson not learned from what we've
So
done
would
in the
I.
past.
So would I. This guy's got the
Danny
worst
Welbeck
mentality.
2.0.
Yeah, I've said that name before, but I prefer Danny Welbeck. I think Danny Welbeck's better than Marcus Rashford. I can't even lie. People would
Wow.
say that he's got more potential, but I think Danny Welbeck's career, like, let's be real, you look at what Danny Welbeck's done, you look at what Marcus Rashford's done. I think Rashford would beg to have what Welbeck's done.
Danny
Let's be
Welbeck's
real.
having a better season right now.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't want this guy, man. I don't want this guy. This one's interesting. We might be signing Bellingham, bro. But it ain't Jude. It's his brother Joby from Job from Sunderland. Arsenal are amongst a host of Premier League clubs watching and tracking the progress of Bellingham, who's 19 years old now, who would be open to leaving Sunderland at the end of the season. What do you make of this player? Do you actually seen much of him? I haven't, to be honest.
Bro, who watches Sunderland in the chat? Are they like I'm not being disrespectful to Sunderland, but I don't even know what league they're in right now. Are they in the championship?
Yeah, they're in the Championship. They're doing all right. They've got the new French manager who's doing quite well with them, to be fair.
I don't watch the championship enough to know what he's like or how he performs. All I know is Dortmund were after him, and if he was any real high prospect, Dortmund would have already scooped him up.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that he's much on his brother, if I'm honest. I understand.
We're in a situation where we cannot afford to be doing what Tottenham's doing, signing 19-year-olds and trying to
Yeah.
find them game time. We're
I
not
don't
in
want
that.
any
We're
more
not in
players
that.
under the age of 21, man. I don't want any more players unless they're elite level, like Lamine Yamal level. I don't want anyone that's under the age of 21, man. I want people that are ready to hit the ground running.
We can't afford signing players and just for the sake of it. We need to actually sign players that are going to improve this team. And the 19-year-old Bellingham, I don't know if he's going to actually do anything to improve our team. He's more likely just going to be a prospect.
I agree. It'll be a prospect, man. That is exactly what it will be. So I can't see that one happening. Look, man, I wanted to share this with you as well. There's another bit of news coming in, which is, I hate this news, man. Every single time I see us linked with players, it's usually because they haven't done so well at Chelsea. Madueke in the summer. Now it looks like Christopher Nkunku is one, Arsenal. Apparently, it being linked with, it's emerged today as a target for Arsenal. He wants to leave Chelsea this winter. I don't get this balloon celebration. Do you?
I think it's extra. Does he do it every goal he scores? Like,
Is
you
it
just have
something
a
to do with
balloon?
his kid or something? Is it like his kid who
No,
like?
he just has a balloon in his sock every game. Like
It's
that
so
balloon must
bizarre.
stink. Like what the hell?
What do you make of this? Do you think this is nonsense or what?
Bro, I'm staying clear of any Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, any player from any other club. I'm just staying clear. Now, don't get me wrong. I liked Nkunku when he was at RB Leipzig, but I don't think we need to go for Nkunku. We should still go for what's his face, Marmoush, or go for Kudus.
Mm,
However much, and also we can't get him on loan because we already have Raheem Sterling on loan, so we'd have to
mm.
pay money for him. Why are we going to put money into Chelsea's bank pocket so they can go and get friggin' Victor Osimhen in January? Why would we do that?
No, I'm with you.
That's
I
their
don't.
problem. That's their problem. We need to have the mentality as a football club be like, that's Chelsea's problem. We're no longer doing transfers with these guys.
I don't think he's a striker in Nkunku. I think he's an attacking midfielder, one that can play wide, right, left. Emery wanted him years ago when he was at Leipzig because he was a prospect, but I don't think he's cut it at Chelsea. He wants first team football. He can't get into the
Oh,
team ahead of Jackson and
he's been
Mount.
terrible. He's been terrible. Unless it's the Conference League, he hasn't looked that good.
Yeah, I agree. There's a couple of players like that actually at Chelsea that ain't looked that great, but it's what it is. Let me ask you before we close, Egal.
Oh, and Joao Felix is a bum. Don't ever bring Joao Felix's name to Arsenal. He's a bum.
Yeah,
That guy
I'm not a fan. I'm not a
that
fan.
guy is useless. And I've been saying he's useless. They tried to say, oh, if Cole Palmer gets injured, we have Joao Felix. Joao Felix ain't doing shit for you. At this moment in time, I would rather have Ethan Waneri than Joao Felix.
Yeah, I've got to be real. I'm actually with you there. I've got to be real. Look, there's over 800 people in here, man. Make sure you do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you're doing the same thing for Egal. And Egal talks football, please, people. Look, bro, I'm going to give you the keys to Arsenal for the for the January transfer window. What would you do if you had the keys? That's my first question. And what do you actually think will happen? Because they're two very different
How
questions.
much money do I have, first of all?
I'm going to give you £70 million. So I'll be fair. I'm not going to give you 150 because I don't think we've got that. You think we might have, but I don't know that we have. So let's give you 7 because we spent 70 in the summer. So I'll give you another 70. That rounds out to 140 in the season. So let's do that.
Okay. How much could I get? How much could I get for
Marmoush? No.
How much could I get for Marmoush? 45 million pound?
Yeah, 45, 50, I reckon. Yeah, that'll get him.
45 million pound. How much could I get for Kivior if I sold him today?
Probably 20 million.
Okay, so I get 20 million. So now I basically spent 20 of the 70 million, and I have 50 million remaining. I'm gonna go and put in a cheeky 50 million pound bid for Kudus. It gets rejected, right?
It would get rejected, yeah.
Okay. Then I take that next 50 and I say to myself, do I want to spend the rest of the money on the 50 million and go to Napoli and say, give me Victor Osimhen, and that's our striker situation sorted, or do I go and get another winger? Possibly,
I think Osimhen and Marmoush would be an unbelievable window.
The thing is, Osimhen's going to cost us 60 million, so they're going to ask us for another 10 million. So I'm going to have to try to muster another 10 million out of nowhere. But if you're willing to give me another 10 million and give me 80 million for the transfer window, I could probably get two players to improve the team. But that's football manager right there. That's not realistic. Victor Osimhen, I don't think Arteta wants him. I don't think Arteta wants a striker in this window, because in order to bring in a striker, you kind of have to change how you play slightly.
Well, look, if we want to get a striker in the summer, then I would expect us to go for 2 attackers in this January window, now that Saka's out. And I would expect it to be, if it's not Kudus because it's too much money and they want a release clause in the summer, which is activated at 85, then I would go and get maybe Brian Mbeumo and Marmoush.
Yo, who's this Churchkey guy that people keep talking about?
Oh yeah, Churky. I don't know if you say Churky. I know DG was talking about it. Deluded was talking about him. Apparently he's a Leon winger that's really good, but apparently Newcastle after him.
Well, why do we want him?
Well, apparently he's been doing well. Let me find out. Churky.
Bro, when they say well, they mean a couple of step overs and a through ball. Like, that's what he's good at. He's not scoring you goals. He's not getting you assists.
He's got 11 matches, 3 goals, 3 assists in La Liga 1. It's not great.
It's Nico Williams level.
Yeah, I don't know much about the kid. He's 21 years old though, so he's
Leon's getting relegated at the end of the season. That's why.
Yeah, they're saying he's a baller, but I haven't seen enough of him. What about this Arda Güler? You like him, don't you? From Real Madrid.
Bro, forget about loaning Arda Güler and all this other stuff. Because at this moment in time, if we're gonna get anything from Real Madrid, I'm looking at Brahim Diaz and I'm looking at Rodrigo. Arda Güler, let's be honest, we're not gonna give him enough game time for him to come to our club.
We ain't gonna get Rodrigo. We ain't gonna get Rodrigo again.
No, we're not getting him in January. In the summer, he's gone. He's leaving Real Madrid soon. Somebody has to sign him. Why not?
Why is he leaving? What? Because he's not playing because of Mbappe and Vinny.
Mbappe, Vinny are there. The guy is good enough to be playing week in, week out. Somebody has to leave that team. Who's going to leave that team? Is it going to be Vinny?
Don't they play Mbappe through the middle and then Vinny and Rodrigo? Is not their front three?
Rodrigo needs to be taken out of that team for them to sign another forward.
But they need another. Who do they want then? They want another forward as well.
Yeah, they need a proper striker. Mbappe, they don't consider him a striker. He's a winger. Vinny's a winger. Yeah, I personally think they're gonna go and let Rodrigo go, and then they're gonna play Vinny, Mbappe, and they're gonna have another striker up top.
Haaland.
There's no chance they're getting Haaland.
I was just joking, but imagine. Let me come to these super chats to close. This comes in from Lawrence. Big up to you, my bro. I hope you're well. Happy New Year from LA. Happy New Year to you too, my bro. It says, to all those who worship Arteta, let me ask them, when does this process of Arteta's end? 5 years into it, and we're still no better off than before he became boss. So what do you say to people that have this kind? Because it's kind of hard for me, Egal, because I'm kind of on that side as well. Like, I know you're a big believer in what you believe, still believe Mikel can do it. Like, if it gets to a stage where he doesn't this season, do you think it would be hard for yourselves and some of the others that I believe to then not agree with what some of the others on the other side of the fence have been saying?
Bro, I don't believe we will win the league, to be fair. At this moment in time, as currently... Do you
think we'll win a trophy, though? Do you think we'll win a trophy?
Yeah, probably Conference League.
Conference League?
Not Conference League. I mean, what's
Carabao
it called?
Cup.
Carabao Cup. Why am I saying Conference League? I got Chelsea in my head too much. But yeah, probably the Carabao Cup. Why am I talking about Conference League? I've lost it. But yeah, that's probably it. Why am I so close to the camera too? I need to sit back.
I would say domestic trophy is probably the one that we're most likely to win. Is that enough for you if we don't win the league? Because Lee reckons it is.
People are saying I support Chelsea. Get out of here. As for
Lee reckons if we win the Carabao Cup, he's happy with Arteta. I disagree with that, unless we challenge as well.
Bro, I don't think anything Arteta does this season will keep people satisfied unless he wins the league or the Champions League. Because right now, as currently constructed, we don't have a good enough attack. Our attack is probably worse than Brighton's. So until we get our attack sorted out, we can't be sitting here talking about winning the league, winning the Champions League, winning that. But yeah.
Okay. Big up to you, Lawrence.
Listen, I don't do drugs, people. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Let them chat. Snake Eyes says, I don't trust Arteta with more money. He's just going to buy more left backs. This guy's addicted to left backs. If he does not win a trophy, get rid.
Can we say maybe it was Edu? Maybe Edu was the problem. Can we admit that? Maybe Edu was the problem.
We'll find out. Now that he's gone, we'll find out.
And also,
we're linked with Tariq Mitchell and Juan Garcia. We love a goalkeeper and left back, by the way.
Oh my God! Did you hear Pedro? They said Neto's future at Arsenal is at risk. What future? Man never played. we played academy goalkeepers ahead of him because of his cup tied.
Oh wow, that is only going to be at Arsenal, isn't it? Big up to you, Snake Eyes, absolute legend, bro. Thank you for the super sticker as well, East London Gooner, absolute legend. Big up to you, my bro.
Arteta's not the main problem at Arsenal. I think the main problem at Arsenal has been mismanagement from the top when it comes to transfers.
The ownership.
From the Bruno Guimaraes transfer to Isaac missing out on him when we could have got him, to missing out on
ownership. Is that what you're saying now?
Missing out on Kudus and getting Havertz only when we could have got Kudus, Havertz, and Declan Rice that window.
Are you coming around to my way of thinking now, Egal? Is that what it is?
No, I think it's not the owners. I think it's the people who are making the decisions.
Who the owners employ.
The football decisions on the field. Because the ownership, what they do is they put people in charge, they sit back and they let them run the show. In the NFL, in the NBA, in the hockey team that they have, even all their businesses, they just let the people that they bring in run the show, and they trust those people to get it right. And relatively one of the smartest teams in all the other sports, except for Arsenal.
SG says, I wouldn't give Arteta any more money. A lot of people not interested in giving Arteta more money. He bought in Havertz, Zinchenko, Marino, and left backs. And goalkeepers, Arteta is a grim reaper for attackers. Get rid of Arteta and bring in Ancelotti. Can you understand why people aren't happy with some of the business we've done? Look, I understand Egal that he's brought in some good players. I think Odegaard, Ben White, we can talk about the others.
Arteta's the reason why we're in the challenging position that we're in.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question. The question was about the recruitment. Has it been up to scratch?
No, everyone can say that. But also, Liverpool haven't signed anybody and they're still about to win this league. So is it always about recruitment or is it about improving the finer margins of what you have?
Well, I think with Liverpool, what they've done is they've bought a bloody good manager because I like what he's doing, mate. I've got to say, I think he's been fantastic. This one comes in from AMT, says even Iwobi's better than Rashford.
You know, the other day, someone was telling me we should sign back Iwobi.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, what? Nah. I'm taking.
And the same guy was telling me. Lookman shit.
Nah, man. Look, I don't know what's going to happen in this January transfer window. All I hope is that we don't do it. We do it quick and we don't wait until the bloody 30th of January. We're still waiting to who we sign. Do you think that will happen? Do you think we'll actually leave it last minute again? Because we've got this Jason Ato guy replaced Edu. We've got Richard Garlick, who I guess will help out. So basically, it's three people: Arteta, Garlick, and this Ato guy. They're going to have to sort this out,
bro. We're not signing nobody until after that Liverpool game, after the Man United game. When is the Man United game?
Where is that? 11th or 12th or something? Is it? I can't remember.
If we make a signing before the middle of January, we're lucky. Arsenal are so slow at transfers that I would expect us to get majority of our business done near the end of the window. People
it's
saying,
interesting, man.
People saying, iron the flag. Guys, the flag is on the wall. Of course it's going to have little things.
I'm just sick of talking transfers. And I know it's part of this bloody remit.
Bro, the transfer window hasn't even opened yet. You're already sick of it.
But I'm sick of it already. Why am I? Because it's Arsenal. This is what they do to me, bro. But now, listen, big up to everybody, man. There's been well over 800 of you, majority of this stream. So absolute legends. Big up to all of you guys. Make sure you're following Egal on all social media, EGTV Egal or Egal Talks Football on YouTube. Make sure you're doing that now, people. Make sure you've hit the like button and subscribe to this one. Big up to all of you for your super chats. I really appreciate your comments, super chats, and interaction. And I want to say this lastly, Happy New Year to you, Egal. Happy New Year to everybody listening and everybody watching on Catch Up. I hope 2025 brings you happiness and joy and everything that you wish for. Big up the Arsenal. We'll speak to you next time. We're out of here, people. Big up.